this evening for this very, very exclusive Q&A for the new sci-fi spectacular After Earth! Pretty good. Okay, so let me explain what's going on very shortly. On this stage, we're going to be welcoming some Hollywood royalty in the form of director M.Night, Jaden Smith, and Will Smith himself. They're right here! It's good practice. We're going to do one more, so when I bring them on very soon, I want you to raise the roof of this place. We want to let them know how much London is pleased to have them here. So 3, 2, 1, here they are! Okay, so here's what's going to happen before we bring out our guests this evening. You are going to see some very, very exclusive, never before seen footage from this movie. Now, because it's very much for your eyes only, you are the lucky ones. What I need to ask is that while the footage is on, if you could put your mobile phones away, otherwise bad things will happen. I don't know exactly what, but it's going to be bad. So while the footage is on, do please put your mobile phones away. Once the footage is over, get them out again. Unleash your technology, and you're welcome to use them as you please. We would love it if you would tweet about what you've seen, and indeed the Q&A that's going to happen here. It's hashtag After Earth, if you could do that. Hashtag After Earth. I do need to say, while the interview is going on though, unfortunately it's no flash photography, it's being filmed for iTunes, and you can relive this glorious moment on iTunes, but no flash photography during the interview. Okay, that is everything. Are you ready to see this exclusive footage? Yes? All right, ladies and gentlemen, please enjoy this exclusive footage from After Earth. For me. That's how I roll. I hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, now you may get your phones out and start tweeting hashtag After Earth, let people know just how exhilarating what you saw just was. Once again, no flash photography during the Q&A, which we are going to begin now. I'm going to ask you to put your hands together and welcome a hugely talented trio to this stage. First of all, please give it up, the uber talented Mr. M.Night Shyamalan! It's great to have you here, guys, and I think I speak for everyone when I say we are absolutely thrilled to have you in London. Am I right, people?
Yeah! We are thrilled to be here.
Absolutely.
This is fantastic.
The stage is, I don't know.
It's kind of tilted, right?
Yeah.
It is tilted. It threw me off a little bit.
Yeah.
For a second, I was like...
Cool. Yeah, it's cool.
Like leaning forward. It's cool, though.
Yeah, it's nice. I like it.
Well, as long as we're all comfortable, everyone just saw that footage. Everyone is just, I'm sure, blown away by it. As I said, you can start tweeting. Let's start talking about this movie, though. If I can start with you, Will, I mean, this is a very personal idea. This is something you came up with. Now, was it something that you just sort of went, I want to make an epic sci-fi, or was it that you wanted to work with Jaden again for the second time?
Well, what happened, we were in China. Jaden was working with Jackie Chan. And I was just seeing how much fun he and Jackie were having making the Karate Kid. And I was like, hey, Jackie, that's my son. And you know, so I started thinking of something. I was like, I wanted to work with him again. So I had the idea for a while, and I think it was your birthday.
Yeah, that's right. You
And
didn't come to my birthday party.
Yeah.
So then he called
So I
me
was
and
calling.
apologized.
I was calling to make up a lie. Oh man, you know, I'm having back
cramp.
surgery. You know,
Hamstring.
yeah, I got a cramp. You know, so I was calling to wish him happy birthday, and he was like, First of all, he was like, you're not coming to my party, and you know, he's like, I don't want a present. I want to make a movie. Pitch me a movie right now. Right? So I was like, So I pitched the idea, the seeds of the idea for After Earth, and I was like, wait a minute. He's like, that's a real movie. Yeah, and I think it was probably about 10 days later.
Yeah,
and
we met in Los Angeles.
We met, at night. He had to come up with all of these ideas, and Night really forced it through because thank you, because actually I was being lazy, and you actually brought After Earth hardcore to the screen.
Yeah, I think he thought I was joking when, he just called for a birthday hat, happy birthday.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll do it.
He was like, I'm in. I was like, oh, okay.
This is how Hollywood works. One phone call, an idea, and there you go. And now here it is. But I mean, this is something that JD yourself discussed the idea at home, and you started talking about working together. What's it like, sort of having had that conversation in your front room, and now seeing this multi-million-dollar movie on screen?
I mean, it's amazing. I love it because only halfway through the movie did I realize that this is actually like a sci-fi movie. This is my favorite type of movie to make, and I'm actually making it. I realized halfway through the movie it has explosions, extraterrestrials, black people with swords. I was like, this is amazing. This is exactly the movie I wanted to make. Halfway through it. So I'm just happy that we got the opportunity to make it because I think people are going to really enjoy it.
And in terms of yourself, Knight, because obviously you've got a father and son here, a real-life father and son, playing a fictional father and son on screen. Does that, as a director, make it easier for you, or does it present a whole new host of problems?
It's a unique experience.
Yeah, there you go.
I always use the parent when I'm directing a younger person. I always use it, and then, but him being in the movie is an added thing. So I have to protect him sometimes so he can do his performance. And sometimes, sometimes it's just me and Jaden. But when I Jaden's a by the way, Dad. He's very guarded. He's a very sweet kid. He doesn't like to show his emotion. It sounds really sweet, but it's hard for me. I can't get anything. He's just quiet. He's very sweet. I'm like, no, that's okay. Come out. And sometimes I can't get all the way, and then I turn to him and I go beat him up. And he goes, and he's like, he starts going. He can go farther because he's the dad. He won't get in trouble. So then he goes farther.
Yeah, no, it would be Night. I would see Night talking to Jaden, and I'm trying to concentrate on my part. So I'll be over here pretending like I'm not looking.
He's not joking, by the way.
I'm trying to pretend like I'm talking to somebody else.
Yeah, and I'm trying to direct him over here, and he's like, I'm like spinning like the director's doing this. And then when I wave him over, he's like, okay.
Yeah, listen, man, come on, man, dig in.
Because I will say, I mean, we've seen a scene just now where it's really, it's quite an intense relationship, the father and son relationship you have in this movie. Like, there's the whole, you need to do this or we are going to die. Yeah. Now, I'm imagining your relationship with your dad at home, it's very different. It's
similar to that. I'll be like, Jaden, eat your spinach or we are going to die. Really similar to that.
No, I mean, it's similar in some ways, but Cypher and my dad are like two completely different people. That's really confusing.
Yeah.
Just because Cypher and my dad, I could be speaking as guitar, I could be speaking as Jaden.
That's deep.
Yeah.
It's like a paradox almost for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, but he's really different than that, you know what I mean? If he was telling me on Pursuit of Happiness, it was a different story. It was the same person. It was the same person. It was literally, yo, Dad, I'm gonna go, can I get some orange juice out the fridge? We can't afford any orange juice, Christopher. Can, it's in the fridge already, man.
You know,
I was just more in character.
he was just way more in character. He stopped showering and buying things for like a month.
Just wanted to be authentic.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're a producer on the movie as well, Will. What's it like, sort of, as the producer, sort of, knowing that your son is going to be doing such physically active and action-packed stunts, running around Costa Rica, doing all that kind of thing?
What's that like, Dad?
No, but you know, all right, so you're a producer.
Yeah, sorry.
You're a producer and a father, right? So you got to go back. The producer, your job is to make sure that the movie gets made. And as a father, you just, you know, you want to make sure it gets made with your kid staying alive for the process. So it's like there was one time.
Oh yeah, I can tell who's coming up to the set. If it's the father, the producer. I go, oh, my father's here. There was one. We were on a cliff. You can tell that story.
Yeah, it was a real cliff.
He's gonna make me look bad here. This is not true. But it's not true.
It was a cliff. So we walk out, and so Night sees me coming. I can always tell when Night is about to ask to do something that's way too dangerous for Jake to do. So I see Night doing this. He's looking over the cliff, and it's like 400-meter drop off of a cliff, and Night's going. And then he looks at, and he sees me coming. He's like. You know, so I come up, so Night's like, hey, Will, how you doing?
Hey, you look good. You look good today.
So listen, I'm thinking we're just gonna wire Jaden, we're gonna hang him over the cliff, and we're gonna have him crawl up. And I'm like,
He goes, literally that morning, we spent the whole morning. So first of all, let me make it clear, there was no danger. There was no danger. It was scary, but there was no danger. So he comes over and he goes over the cliff. Literally, this is timing. He goes, no, we're not doing this. He walks away, and I was like, I guess we're not doing that shot.
no, but it gets difficult sometimes because as a father, you know, there's a certain amount of push that you want to give your son, right? You know, it's like, as strange as it sounds, movie making is our family business. It's like, that's like a pizzeria or a car dealership. That's what the whole family does. So I want to push him and I want to teach him that, you know, the director has designed a shot, the director has tested the shot, so clearly it's safe. So I wanted to push him, but there's that the father was winning out more times than not.
Will's an athlete, and actually Jaden is too. They're very skilled, right? So there'd be lots of times like where he would be doing parkour stuff. You guys know what parkour is? And he'd do that. It's
Acrobats running, jumping.
Running, jumping, flipping, diving, just escaping something and looking cool at the same time.
And so then there would be times where I would be fine with what he did, like he'd parkour off a tree and run off, and then Will would push him even farther to go faster and do it harder. So there were times when the athlete family.
Yeah, the father comes out too with the producer. I only ever see the producer.
No. See, because what it is I can't father you on the set at work, right? Because you're at work, you've signed a contract, you have work to do, you have things that you have to do. So I was fathering you behind your back.
Yeah. By the way, that scene, you weren't there when we did that.
You weren't there. Yeah, you never knew we had that conversation.
So I want to tell a quick story.
Okay.
We had a river scene. It's when my character assembles a bunch of logs. He has to go down the river because he feels like it'll be faster. So I'm talking to the stunt guy, and he's like, all right, so we have people with oxygen tanks under the water. They're going to be watching you. We have croc divers. They're going to be watching out for any crocodiles. And I was like, oh, okay, all right. And he's like, all right, you're going to be all right. Don't fall in the water or anything. And if you do, we'll save you because we have crocodiles, we have fish in there, we have piranhas in there. And then my dad jumps in and he goes, vegetarian piranhas. There's a difference.
Okay, I'll admit that day when I knew that we needed crocodile divers to clear the crocodiles away. It crossed my mind for a second that maybe this was a poor parenting choice.
Here's the only problem I had. Did the piranhas tell you they were vegetarian?
They didn't look like they were meat-eating piranhas.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that day was questionable.
Yeah, that was definitely questionable.
Yeah, we can put an asterisk beside that parenting day.
So aside from the real danger of piranhas and crocodiles, wow, like there obviously are a lot of CGI creatures in the movie. We saw the baboon scene where Jaden's been traced by the baboons. And obviously those are CGI baboons. So Jaden, you look genuinely terrified in that scene.
Yeah.
So what are you actually running away from there? Is there something there? Is there nothing there? Is it?
There was people chasing me in gray suits, so that was kind of scary.
Yeah, because there's people in the suits.
Yeah.
Gray spandex suits
Yeah,
chasing
gray
them.
spandex suits, and this guy's going,
So it was. I mean, it's equally as scary.
there's a bunch of stuntmen chasing him.
But they do it like they're actually good. Like they'll walk around and they'll crawl like this and everything.
Yeah,
It's
so
like they're
moves.
really good.
Yeah.
They know, like they were trained to look like they were baboons.
They were baboons. Yeah. So
They
that
were
was scary.
talented.
That was
They almost could get billed as actors.
Actors,
Because
yes.
it's almost an acting
Yeah.
job that you're doing.
It was like, you know, first baboon, second baboon, third
Yeah,
baboon.
yeah,
They would be listed, though.
yeah.
I guess that's important for you as a director to sort of make it as real as possible for your cast because you had the CGI later, but you want to get a performance that is genuine.
Yeah, you want to real. You don't want him pretending. You know, as much as you know, as he sees them on one take, the actors, the stuntmen will be doing it more aggressively. One will jump faster, and you want to see Jaden's reactions, the kind of I don't know what's going to happen on his eyes, and it's a very fascinating thing because you take them right out and then you put in the baboons and he's reacting genuinely to the action.
And in terms of the scale of this movie, this is certainly one of your biggest movies, and it's a blank canvas. I mean, really, you've got the idea, and then you can create any kind of like world visually you want, which must be really exciting as a director.
Yeah, you know, we spent a year working on the way the world would look and design. I had all the production designers at my house, and we were building models and looking at, you know, with the CGI guys and designing the creatures and designing. It is unlimited, you know, and I think Will was really helpful in terms of pushing me. I'm very quiet as a filmmaker in general, like you know, very still and quiet, and Will kept kind of asking me and urging me to be, you know, bigger and broader in my, you know, creativity and really kind of make it as exciting as possible so we get both in the movie.
In terms of the action, Jaden, like you mentioned that you do pretty much everything in this film. You climb, you run, you swim, you fight.
He don't do everything. I do some stuff.
You do this. You have to get some stuff
I
done.
did some stuff.
You do most of the talking,
Crying.
You do most of the crying, the yelling.
Yeah, no, I told Jaden, I said, listen, this is an opportunity as your dad. I'm gonna hook you up. You're gonna do, you know, the running and jumping, and you're gonna do most of the action, but I'm gonna take most of the money. And I think that's a good parenting deal.
Well, obviously, I mean, Will, you've done so much action in your films in the past. And was there any advice that Will gave you? What was the most difficult thing, I guess, to learn in terms of all the new skills?
The most difficult thing, it was probably the emotional scene when we're on the log and then I start flying. That sounds so weird in the same sentence.
Yeah, you know, I was on the log, then I started flying. You know.
I jumped off the cliff and
Regular
started
day.
flying. No, but yeah, that was probably the hardest thing for me, the emotional scenes, you know what I mean? But I think that scene is probably, it's like the heart of the movie. So it was really important for us to get that scene how we needed, and I feel like we got it really, really good.
You know, I saw a moment where Will was basically teaching him kind of the nuances. It's funny, when it's hard to just do something that we take for granted, like running, right? Like, you know, he's a trained cadet in the movie, and running, we don't, you know, all of us run in a certain way, but someone who's trained to run from point A to point B, like a military person, runs very differently. And I remember that day on the volcano.
Oh, yeah.
Where you were teaching him.
It's one of the subtle aspects of, like, you know, when you see somebody on screen and you say, wow, that person looks like a movie star. They look strong. And I was telling Jaden, running is one of the big things that makes somebody look strong and like a movie star. So the train I got into Olympic sprinting, because that's the strongest looking human running. It's knees high and elbows back, and you look strong when you run, right? You know, if somebody was to say, help, help, and you hear help in the back, and I say, I'm coming. I'll save you. You know, it's like, that person's just not a movie star.
Not that that's what you did.
No, that's not, but I was, you know, I was just working with them on the importance, like, movie star running is huge.
Yeah, absolutely.
Talking about that scene on the volcano, I mean, that's a great
That's
scene.
an active volcano, just so you know.
Wait, I mean, listen, but, okay, yes, it was technically an active volcano.
But what really is an active volcano?
Right, yeah. Like, what does that mean?
Like, but it's just active. It's
Right,
not
so like, I mean, it hadn't erupted in a while.
you know,
That was another questionable parenting decision on the movie.
should I let my son
Run up the
up
active volcano. Yeah.
And then we agreed on then we went
Action.
Action.
Yeah.
Just run fast so we can get out of here.
Guys, it's been lovely having this chat with you. It's time to find out if anyone else here has any questions for our talented trio on the stage right now. We do have we've got one down there.
Hold on, I'll come down.
Oh, please.
What do you
Okay, this is a crazy opportunity. I'm a student, I study film, and I love the fact that you actually made the film and you're also in it. Like, no, I love the fact that you directed it and I've seen all your films. And I've seen all the films. Okay. All I want to say is, what was, from all the films you've done, is there anything that was specifically challenging? Like that you think in this film I haven't done anything else like that's directed to you, but you can answer that as well.
The I Am Legends, the pull-ups behind the back. Jaden always tries to do those at home.
I can do it.
You can't, Jaden, come on, man.
I can't do 8, but I can do it.
You can, yeah. You can do one good
I
one.
can do 3.
You can
Can I take this back?
Thank you for your question. Oh, wait,
What's
do you
your
have a
film
question
student?
too?
Good luck with that.
Oh, no.
Good, absolutely.
What?
Do you need some help? I can help
No,
you out.
good.
Can we help you out? Somebody else has a question?
Can I just
This
say
guy's
that I
killing
love
me.
you, Jaden?
Oh, thank you.
And,
Okay,
what
that's
would you
enough.
say?
I thought you were actually going to take me out.
Well, I just wanted to ask, what was the best thing about doing this film, and what was the least thing?
The least, the best thing, the best thing, the best thing. The best thing. Oh, I got to get physically fit. I wouldn't have done it if it wasn't for this film. I would have just kept eating waffles. Because eating waffles is fun, and we all know that. But I got to get physically fit for this movie, so I was like, oh, cool. I get to be in this movie, get to run, I get to look cool, and I get to better my life in that way. So I was really happy that I got to work out because I wouldn't have done it to the extent that I did it without this movie. I gained 20 pounds and I grew 4 inches. Like I was like a different person before this movie. I looked just how I looked in Karate Kid right before this movie, and then I made this movie, and then I was like, all right, he's in the middle of, he's kind of, it's weird, that weird stage where it's like,
Well, no, as a parent, that's cool when your kid, you know, grows. He put on, what's 20 pounds? Put like 9 kilos. He put on equivalent of 9 kilos and you know, grew 4 inches. So that was great as a parent. My son's growing, but as a producer, it's like, hey man, your wardrobe don't fit no more.
So Jaden was very proud of his working out. I'd be in a restaurant and there'd be a text from him with his 6-pack like that.
yeah, all the time.
Everybody's looking at me, why are you getting these teenagers? No, I'm working very fast. You do that many times and I'm like, I don't know
Multiple
why.
times.
I'm not asking him to send me these pictures. He's sending them to me. He like, takes a picture in the mirror and sends it to me. And I'm like, I don't know why he's sending me pictures. I promise.
It's like, yes sir, you are under arrest.
No, I always sent him those pictures just so he saw that I was still dedicated, because we took breaks. Sometimes we wouldn't shoot, and then we do reshoots, and we would do reshoots. So in those breaks, I would show him that I was still dedicated. by taking shirtless pictures. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Still working on it.
And I'm like, delete.
I know, it's just like in the video.
Every time I dyed my hair a different color, I'd send them a picture of that too. We gotta shoot, what are you doing?
All right, another question from you guys, and we'll get you a microphone. Let's take one just here in the maroon hoodie there.
Hi, my question is for Mr. Shyamalan. Firstly, I love your work.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. How did this film compare to your other films? It feels a bit different, like a bit more like epic, like a blockbuster, a lot of CGI. It feels quite different to your previous.
I'm not a techie guy at all, you know, like if you see like the great filmmakers that are so versatile with this, with Spielberg and Jackson and Cameron, they love this stuff. I mean, they geek out on all the technology and all. I barely know how to send an email. Literally, it's daunting to me. I'm very, like, I read real books and I'm quiet, I'm that guy. So this is the first time I actually really felt comfortable with the CGI. I spent, a lot of time handpicking the artists, handpicking the supervisors, handpicking the houses that were doing all the CGI, got to know them, talk to them like actors, the way I would talk to these two, because you're creating characters. This character has intelligence, this character is suspicious, each of the baboons has its own intention and its own thing. I can talk like that and spend the time. So this is new and rewarding for me for the first time. It takes a lot of work to do it that way for 2 years, 2.5 years. And then on the action side of it, which is also new for me in terms of, like if you see Unbreakable, the action sequence at the end is one shot with the guy choking him out at the end, and the camera. So I still do it in a kind of quiet, dramatic way. And this movie, because Will was kept on challenging me to kind of, do a 5-part sequence instead of my usual 2-part sequence, I'd have to come up with ways that it would extend, and so it keeps you breathless. And our goal was that you would have a physical reaction at the end of the 2 hours. That when the credits come on, you realize your body's been doing this the whole time, and you're like, oh my god. And so that's the two new things. But they're at the core. It's a quiet father and son. They can do that on stage. The most of the movie they can do on stage. So that's still there, the quiet part.
That's a great
Can't wait
question.
to see it.
It's a great question, and I guess to flip it around, what was it like for you guys working with Night on this movie? What did you see in Night when you first made that phone call and went, actually, this is the guy for this movie?
To me, that was the element that I thought was most interesting about the collaboration. Night is able to take a shot and what looks and feels like nothing is happening. But he knows how to just let it hang long enough that the audience goes, oh, come on. Oh, wait, no. Why is he holding the shot that long? And he's able to create such tension with what's seemingly nothing. And for me, I'm summer movies, loud explosions, action sequences. But to work and be able to focus in what is an epic summer blockbuster movie, but to pay that much attention to the delicate nuances of just a simple father and son story at the beginning of it, to me, I think we created something really special in that blend.
Thanks very much. All right, we've got time for a couple more questions. Where's the microphone? Okay, we've got a question down here. You would like to remember? Thank you very much. Nice, careful.
Oh, I love that little pop down. Push a good job.
But before I spoke, I just wanted to say, Will is, sorry, I called you Will, but it's nice to see.
That's my name.
As a father, my son's here next to me. But it's nice to see because I saw that little exchange over there with the training. And I'm going through that myself, so it's nice to see that I'm not the only person going through that. But the question I wanted to ask was for both of you. You're working in this film together. I've seen you both in other films together. And I sort of busted in on my son the other day. He's studying acting at Kingston College, and he told me to get out because he's trying to get an emotional thing going. And I wanted to know, how do you access that emotion in the scene that I was seeing up there and I've seen in the other films? How do you both access that? Especially since you're working together. How do you differentiate between the sort of family emotion and this film emotion? How do you access that?
That's a very good question.
Wasn't recording there.
Oh, it wasn't? Well, first and foremost, the access to that, you have to clear your own personal blocks, right? You have to be able to be vulnerable in front of anybody. You know, you have to be comfortable looking silly. You have to be comfortable making mistakes. And you have to break the thing inside of you that doesn't want people to see, right? Because as soon as you allow people to see, all of a sudden you get access to things that you didn't realize you had access to, right? For example, like a thing I used to do is when I was probably 18 or 19 years old, I got in touch with those blocks. The camera hates emotional blocks. Like, you put a camera in somebody's face and they're uncomfortable about delivering emotion. It looks fake and you feel it. You immediately know it's not real, right? Especially look at the size of this screen. And in a shot, that whole screen could be just your eyes, right? So it's like you can't hide discomfort, uncertainty, so you have to be able to get comfortable, you know, just being anything! Anything that you have to be for the role, you have to be comfortable being it!
I was so scared.
But you know, but that is the part of it. And then by the same token, you have to, you know, be able to just be quiet, to be nervous, to really love someone. You know, so really at the end of the day, it's about finding ways, like, you have to get comfortable doing it in front of your father. That block is the thing. The block that you have for your father is the block you're gonna have for the camera, is the block you're gonna have when there's a pretty girl behind the camera that's working and you wanna look cool for her, you know, you don't want her to see you cry, you know, so that block, you can use your father. If he makes you uncomfortable, it's perfect. Because that's the discomfort you have to break in order to be able to bear yourself in front of the camera.
I have to say something smart real quick.
As opposed to what I was saying?
No, you said too much smart stuff. I gotta say smart stuff too. So I have a story about you actually.
Okay.
So what you were saying, I feel like being afraid of girls, being in front of the camera, being scared in general, all of those things are just really the same thing. It's just really being afraid of what people will think. So I think why you can be such an amazing actor is because when you were a teenager in Philly, he would go to the mall and he would stand up on the chair like this and he would say, "Hey, can I have your attention, everybody? Everybody. My name is Will Smith and I'm gonna be famous one day. You guys don't know me yet." But yeah. And then he would sit back down.
Yeah.
And he'd sit back in his chair, but he was just comfortable saying and doing anything. So when you got in front of the camera, you were okay to let that emotion go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That was like practice for me to break that fear.
That's always practice. So
girls are great too. Like to just, like at a party, get comfortable walking up, saying hi, and getting rejected hard in front of your friends.
Gotta be alright with getting rejected.
You gotta bring, because acting, every take is rejection. That's what it is. You do a take and people don't clap, it's rejection. And you can't allow that to close you down because bearing yourself is what makes you look strong on camera.
You know, I'm going to jump in there for a second because these guys, what happens is each of you kind of have your own, what he's saying is blockages, but I would refer to them as like habits to protect you, right? And so as you can just see here, just by their two different personalities, his defense mechanism is going extroverted, right? So big to distract you, right? He's going to be big, and his is to go still. So I have to constantly talk him out of getting, you know, come out, and his is be still, right? And so they can still do all their magic, all their emotion in a different vocabulary, but, you know, he's trying to distract you. And actually, superstars do that a lot, by the way. All the guys, Mel and Bruce, everybody that I work with, they're so charismatic that they can distract your eye from seeing you, and they're so good. And you have to go, no, stop, you know? Get still, and then on his thing, he's come out, you know, because he's so quiet, he's so laid back, as you can see. Look at his expression.
Guys, unfortunately we are fresh out of time. Yeah, I'm sorry the guys have to dash off, but let's hear it for our talented.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much, guys. Thank you. And thank you guys for your great questions. I hope you enjoyed that after a Q&A, and thank you for being here. It's been really special. Thanks very much, guys.